Hello, and welcome everyone to the For the Geeks Gamecast for Thursday, September 8th, 2022. I am your host, Prince of All Saiyans, Chris Seeger. My guest with me today is one of my best friends, Ryan Wijaya. We also have my cousin as the producer for today, and his camera's off because he's busy doing that. Thank you guys for tuning in. We got an amazing show for you today. Today's topic is my personal favorite, MMORPGs, or Mumorpugers, as I like to call them. But first, as it is tradition for new guests, Ryan, what is your favorite game of all time?
What the fuck? Okay.
Wow, we just jumped right into this. We didn't even say hi, how are you? But how's it going?
No.
Yeah, right.
He just jumped right into the episode.
Yeah, I know. Well, I'm doing fine.
You guys already said that beforehand.
I'm doing fine.
Yeah.
Favorite game? I think I would go with Super Mario World.
Ooh.
The first one? Oh,
classic
why is
SNES title.
Yeah, Super Mario World. That's my favorite of all time.
Okay.
Why is it your favorite? What's so good about it?
Oh, you also want to know why?
Give me some reason.
Yes.
I think it has more to do with sentimental value also, because I used to play a lot with my dad. So he would play with me, and I would play. I would just watch him play, and he would just watch me play, and then we would do that till I was like 7. So we've been playing that since we were 2. I was 2, and then we would play it till like I was 7. He would come to work, play with me, and so on. So it's a lot more. It's a good game, but it also has a lot of sentimental value to me. So that's why it's like my favorite so far.
Nice.
Yeah, that's
a very good. That's a very good choice. I actually, to be completely honest, have a similar thing because I also played Super Mario World with my dad. He would sit next to me and we would play it on this tiny tube television back when.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what they were.
Yeah.
Super big.
Best.
The cathode.
Oh my god. Yeah, and the VGA cables.
It's RCA cables, you idiot.
Yeah.
Terrible. But yeah, I totally understand the sentimental value. That's an amazing game, and I always love playing it. So very good choice.
I think it's one of the first games you get to play with Mario and Yoshi. Besides Yoshi, I don't know, but like,
besides just Mario.
Yeah, the different color Koopa gives you different power ups. Like it's one of the few games for a platformer that gives you like power ups too. I think, no.
Yeah, and it also
with a mount, you get a mount.
Yeah, you get a mount.
I think it's also the first one that did shortcuts because you could take Star Road to the very end, which I usually did all the time.
Well, technically, the first Mario game had shortcuts too, so
they did. Yeah, like the little if you
jump, you
the
could
PAL
jump
game.
And skip. No.
So
you're talking about that one.
World.
Okay.
You are wrong. The Mario game I was talking about was a game with POW blocks and you had to defeat waves of enemies. The one John is talking about is Super Mario Bros. From 1985. Mario Bros. Was released in 1983. Try again.
Yeah, because on the underground level, right, you go behind the little stage.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Take the top hats and you can jump straight to World 4.
Yeah.
Good times. I'm impressed more that you played Super Mario World as a 2-year-old.
Yeah, I didn't play it at that age.
Oh, because I got the Super Nintendo. My dad got it when I was 1, and we would play a lot of games, and that's one of the few ones. So he bought that along with the. Did you have those thick book that shows like all the level layout?
Oh yeah,
Super Mario.
Yes.
So he bought that also. So I would look through it. It was a really nice book.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's just impressive.
I think I played. Well, I played the NES, so I just had Duck Hunt and the first Mario game, and then they sold that unfortunately to buy the Super Nintendo, and that's when I was able to play Super Mario World. I was at like age 6 or something. But yeah, great game.
Yeah. So my first console was the SNES, and I've been playing it since 2, I guess.
Mm-hmm. I don't remember. Did you buy the SNES Classic or no?
No.
Okay, I bought it. I played it for like a week, and I haven't used it.
Like the game is so limited in there.
Yeah. Plus, you can emulate now on your computer. So
yeah, and the Switch allows you to play like a lot of SNES and NES games now.
That's right.
So,
that's one reason for me to still consider buying that because you can play old games on it. That's probably the only reason why I buy it.
you can play it online with other people too, with your friends.
Yeah.
So you can play like, let's say even if it's a single player, your friend can have like this fucking arrow hand just going around the screen telling you where to go and shit like that.
Well, that's cool. I didn't know
Yeah.
that. Okay. Well, thanks
There's a
for
reason
letting
that
us know.
There's a reason
What?
Nintendo is still in business.
Hey asshole, I am talking. Shut up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thanks for letting us know what your favorite game is. Now, with that, we got that out of the way. I need to actually go into some breaking news. Now, for those of you listeners or viewers that don't know, some really unfortunate news happened with the MMO community this week. Two things happened. The first of which was this game called Elion. It got shut down. Originally called Ascent Infinite Realm. I forgot, it had a different name before. Project Air, maybe it was Project Air. I'm not entirely sure. I can't find that name anywhere. But made by Bluehole Studios, the company that did PUBG, but it's a different division, and Cacao.
Desert, isn't it?
Cacao is Black Desert.
Oh, okay.
But both of those teams worked on Elion, and I remember playing the beta a year ago. I was really excited. I paid $40 for the pre-order. I got into the beta. It was utterly terrible. It was like a combination of Terra, BDO, and some other game. And I'm like, this was a waste of $40. And Steam doesn't do refunds on pre-orders. So that was unfortunate. But it does suck to see a game that I guess had a lot of hype behind it shut down after only being out for a year. It's only being shut down in North America and Europe. So I think they're going to keep the Asian servers alive because they play it a lot, because they'll just swipe for end game stuff, which is what they do over there. That's their culture, is pay to win, and they like it. But it had, to me, it had the only unique thing was the graphics and the dynamic combat. It was similar to BDO, but I just like it because we need more games with dynamic combat, because Tab Target is old, and I prefer being able to turn my mouse and have the camera turn as well for combat. So that's the first unfortunate thing. Well, even tied to that, Terra got shut down earlier this year, which I remember I used to play that with Ryan here, and we actually had an argument, and that's why we both quit. But because I was stupid. But we both used to play Terra, and that was a fun game, and that also sucks that they shut down this year as well. So I think it was this year. So
It was this year, yeah.
yeah, that was unfortunate. That was a really fun and very pretty game. I tried going back to it several times. I couldn't get into it because I didn't know anyone playing it, and it was just completely foreign. But that was a really good game to have played in the past, and it's a shame that Bluehole also shut that one down. So Bluehole had two MMOs shut down this year, and I don't know what the future is with MMOs with that company. Maybe they'll just stick to PUBG and Battle Royale stuff. And then the other news is Amazon drops the Lord of the Rings MMORPG, which really disappointed me. But after learning about Rings of Power and what they did, it doesn't really surprise me that happened, considering they don't own all the rights like the Embracer Group does. Because the Embracer Group, as my cousin mentioned to me this week, they're acting very ambitious, and they threw out a lot of project ideas, and they started talking about making new games and possibly some spin-off movies, like Aragorn movie or a Gandalf movie, which would be cool. But I would love them to make a Lord of the Rings MMO, because as much as I love Lord of the Rings Online, it's dated. It's about as dated as World of Warcraft. Not as old, but I'd like to see a Lord of the Rings MMO in Unreal Engine 5, So it's that really sucks, because I was really looking forward to it. But Amazon also needs to learn how to make a proper MMO, considering New World was a failure, because it was just, to me, it's a failure because all it is just a grind fest, and everyone I know who played that game ended up quitting anyway because it was completely boring and they couldn't fix the bugs. They were too ambitious with that game, in my opinion. But that's the breaking news out of the way. Now I can focus on the other stuff I have for you, Ryan.
Just to add something there.
Go ahead.
For New World, just for the
Yes.
people who are going to be hardcore number crunchers, it wasn't just due to certain things that people don't like about the game per se. There was a
Mhm.
literal concurrent drop. This game started with
Oh, yeah.
an average of 410,000 players in October of last year, and not moving more than 1 month forward, they dropped over 60% of it down to 155,000,
Yeah,
following another
they
50% drop. And recently, in the last few months, it's only been about 17,000 players playing every day. So that's a big drop on your first month of game.
Yeah, 17,000 is like it's normal for games that have been out for several years. Those like me if I went to Star Wars: The Old Republic or Lord of the Rings Online, I'd probably see those numbers there, or maybe not Black Desert, but specifically those two games and a couple others I know. So yeah, that is a very bad decline in player numbers. But what happened?
And those are just I'm just saying those are just the averages. Like the all-time
Yeah,
peak in October was
was
913,000.
I thought it was 1 million.
So this is just fake news then. I hate the internet.
Almost.
I'm pretty sure they broke 1 million. There were articles about it, unless those were wrong.
This is according to the actual Steam charts. So I don't know if they can play through the Amazon app as well, just because I've never played the game. But
I've never played it either.
just through Steam's concurrent players alone, its peak was at 913. So just add on whoever else was playing through the actual Amazon launcher too.
Yeah.
So it probably definitely broke that.
Yeah.
That was all I wanted to add.
Okay. Well, my first question, besides what your favorite game is, Ryan,
Mhm.
what makes a game an MMORPG? And I ask this question because there are a lot of companies that throw the word MMORPG to games and they don't qualify as it. For example, Phantasy Star Online 2, people can say it's an MMO, but you and I both know it's not because of the fact that if you can't go out in the world and see thousands of people, it's not an MMO. Like technically the first Guild Wars is not an MMO. It's a hub-based game.
Yeah, like of course, like, if you want to make an MMO, it has to be like open world, right? You want
Yes.
to be able to see everybody. Dudes, like someone can just like you could be killing one fucking crab, and 20 people could be hitting it and steal all your experience. That's an MMO,
Yeah.
right? So of course you have to have a lot of like open world interaction. You can just kill still. Well, it's frowned upon, but you shouldn't, but you can kill still someone's enemies or mobs. And then, there has to be like some kind of trading too. That's like a lot of games, they would have MMO, like just like valuable drops or whatever, but they don't allow trading. Like, for example, not for example, okay, BDO is like a pretty terrible one, but
Right.
it's regulated trading, right? It's not, there's no free market. It sucks.
Nope.
They regulate how much a valuable cost, which is annoying. So you have to bid it. It's just based on how fast you can click it at that point.
Yeah.
And then I don't know. It's just the fact, like, okay, here, bear with me, but like one of the first game, well, one of my favorite MMO of all time. Well, not of all time, but the one I always was able to go back to was called Ragnarok Online.
Oh yeah.
Right. I was so into it because it's open world, right? Basically, think of it like if it was Dark Souls, but an MMO in 2D setting. There's no tutorial. They just drop you in as a novice. Basically, you start as a novice as your starting class. They just drop you up in the middle, and you tell them, okay, and you tell the NPC what class do you think you want to be, and then they drop you off in this like starting city. It could be in a desert, it could be in a city, it could be like it could be anywhere in the forest, based on what you want it to be, and then that's it. You just go out, do whatever you need to do to get to that class, and gear up. There's really no guide. You just go. You can talk to NPC. They tell you what to do. They tell you what they know. You can buy potion from them, but that's it. You're free to explore. If you die, you die. You respawn in town. It's like
Yeah.
a lot of games now at MMO, right? They don't let you explore.
No.
You follow you follow like a straight line, like a guided storyline,
Yeah.
right? And then you level up as you do quests. You reach a new city, you do quests, you level up, you reach a new city again, and so on.
Yeah.
But in Ragnarok, even the game I played before Ragnarok, it's called Nexus. It's called Nexus, Kingdom of the Wind. It was one of the very first MMORPG released in Korea, and that's the same thing. They just drop you off. You do a quest randomly just by talking to NPC and tell you what to do, and suddenly you learn how to become a mage or a warrior or whatever, a rogue, and you just explore wherever you want to go. And if you die, you die, you respawn, you lose your stuff, you lose experience, whatever.
Yeah.
But that's it. So that's what I really like, want to see, what I think, what I would consider an MMO.
Less hand holding and more exploration.
Yeah,
I totally
just-
agree with you on that, because even in BDO, there's some hand holding, but they actually have experience perks for exploration. You climb a fucking
Mhm.
mountain, you get to this viewpoint or whatever, and it unlocks, and you get like a small boost of experience. Like
That's
if you
Guild Wars
don't,
too, isn't it?
they actually push that in Guild Wars 2.
Yeah.
When you get to the vistas, that's what they're called.
Yeah.
And you're highly encouraged to explore in that game as well. So yeah, I totally agree that more games need the exploration thing, because even, for example, Arcade, if you take your glider and you start gliding, you can find out of bounds areas that people will just plant a forest. I remember one time I was gliding in that game and I found like 50 trees just sitting outside of the border of the map.
Yeah.
And I chopped them all down, and I went to jail for it because I stole their trees. But you won't get that in a game that prohibits exploration. I found that just completely random. So
Mhm.
yeah, I totally agree. But that, you said, so Ragnarok wasn't your favorite MMO. What is your favorite MMO of all time?
Well, it was Ragnarok. I would consider was one of my favorite because I kept coming back to it. Like I look for a private server. Like I look for a private server that's like very well regulated. It already shut down, but it was very well regulated, and like it keeps a lot of the classic stuff. But in terms of like favorite MMO, you know what? I probably would go with Fire Ragnarok at this point. But I have never gone back and played an MMO as long as that. Of course, FF14 is the one I'm still playing now, but even then, it has its flaws. It's
True.
great, but there's flaws here and there.
Yeah. Okay. You love Ragnarok so much that you even played the mobile version on your computer. I remember
did,
I came
yeah.
over to your house and you had an auto clicker going while we were just hanging out.
I had a macro going.
That was hilarious.
I
Wow.
was basically
Yeah.
botting. I was basically botting. I actually, when I played it in Indonesia, because I played the Indonesian version, I got banned twice for botting.
Oh my god.
Wow.
I was botting.
See, I've never done that.
I was botting in the test server because they had triple experience field drop, but they keep saying test server gets resets, but it never did.
Mm.
And I was botting in the main server, and that's how, because it was like you have to pay a monthly subscription to play it. So I was
Oh.
botting. I got money in the game. I used it to buy game voucher. So basically, I was doing like MRT, I guess, but I'm using my own gold to buy game time, and it's illegal. But I was like fucking 13. Who the fuck cares?
Oh yeah, you don't give a shit at that age.
Yeah, like
Everyone
what? Ban
remembers
me?
Everyone remembers the days of LimeWire.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
exactly, right?
Yeah.
Kaza.
I even fucking hacked in Counter-Strike 1.6 and I got banned because I wasn't paying attention.
Oh, right. I
Yeah.
saw on your Steam. You had
It's still there.
violation. It's still there. It's permanently there.
I didn't give a shit. It's 1.6. I'm like, I don't give a fuck. It's not Source or CS:GO. Who gives a shit? I was
Yeah.
like
One would
17.
One would say 1.6 is closer to the preferred version sometimes.
It's still fun to play.
It
It's
is.
very hard. I prefer that over. Well, CS:GO is really close. It just like has better graphics and improved gameplay. But I still like 1.6. It's better than
Yeah,
1.5.
I like
That's for sure.
1.6.
Might as well just
I like
play Valorant.
1.6.
I can't because for some reason my computer doesn't like it. Like I tried to install it
Even your
multiple
computer?
times, and it's just like it can't get me into the game.
You've
No, I
even
haven't tried
literally
it on my.
got a new computer.
I haven't tried it on my new computer, and I don't know anyone that wants to play Valorant. And I have too many games to play as it is. So nope.
I still play
Okay.
it here and there.
Would you play it, Ryan?
Valorant?
Yes.
I'm not good at shooter. I'm not.
Oh,
I'm
that's
not.
right. Yeah.
I'm not really good at it. Yeah, I suck. I can play it. It is most likely you'll just be losing.
Yeah, I
It's
lose
okay.
anyway.
Same. Yeah. Doesn't matter. We're all gonna lose together, and that's what matters.
Yeah, yeah. I'm more into action games, action
Oh.
RPG.
Um.
If Elden Ring is a fucking MMO,
Oh my god, that would break the world.
It would break
I would be
everyone.
forced to play it because it's an MMO, and I'd be like, fuck, I have to give it a try.
And the fact, yeah, whatever.
That would actually be a really cool idea for an MMO because there's no combat like that. Like the only similar combat is in Terra where you're fighting the BAMs. That's the only game that has giant creatures to fight one-on-one.
Here's what they thought was MMO. It's not really MMO. It was Vindictus.
Oh yeah,
which had at the time
I remember
because
that
they
game.
used Unreal Engine 4, was it?
but I don't think it was 4. I think it was 3.
Was it 3?
What?
4 was much later, I believe.
Because it was released in 2016 or 15. It was old, right? But the combat among MMO, it was one of the best.
It looks like it was built on Unreal Engine 4.
Okay.
4, right? Yeah, 4. But the combat was the best because it was the first game to be action-oriented combat, right? You actually have to move around, dodge a boss attack. You actually have to predict how a boss is gonna hit you, and you have to dodge it. It's kind of like Monster Hunter.
Yeah.
And then you just use your skill, you beat the shit out of the boss. You know, it's a good action RPG. It's just instant based, but there's like a hub, kind of like Phantasy Star Online. It was more of an MMO than Phantasy Star Online, I would think.
Yeah, I mean, I played it for a little bit with you, and even though it wasn't my thing, but
it wasn't. I know.
I agree. That's more of an MMO than PSO is.
Yeah, and then the combat, I personally think
combat was great.
Yeah, it was. I thought it was better than Terra. It actually it's what inspired Terra to for combat wise.
I thought it was Dragon's Nest that inspired. I guess not.
Fucking Dragon's Nest probably copied Vindictus too.
Yeah,
even Vindictus graphic is a lot better than Dragon's Nest, right? Because Vindictus uses Unreal Engine 4. It's like more BDO style character than Dragon's Nest. Like, not saying it's
Dragon's
bad.
Nest is very Korean. Yeah,
it's more an animated anime style, right?
Mm-hmm.
Vindictus is more human looking.
Yeah, more realistic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Vindictus was among my favorite. It's like if I actually look for a private server and start playing, then I really liked it, and I did that with Vindictus.
Nice. Private servers are fun.
Yeah. I feel like they are actually better managed than the public server. Like this fucking developer keeps messing up the public server.
It's sad, but it's really true. You should see how many private servers people run for things like Minecraft and Ark.
Yeah, or WoW.
Yeah, they do. Right? I know people that run it. That like I know someone who has like a server room in her basement, and she just has servers for like Ark and all this other thing because she has a server company. She just allows people to rent out a server, and she gets some money off of it.
That's smart.
Yeah.
It is passive income.
We used to use Nitrado. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Nitrado for Ark servers because to play a game with Ark without like being tethered to the other players, you have to have it hosted on a server.
Yeah, we did that with Valheim. Because I didn't want to rely on anyone else to be online, so it was cool. It was not bad. Yeah. Although the next time I play Valheim with Ryan, it'll probably be just us two or whoever else. I'm not going to get it dedicated.
Maybe close friends.
Sure.
You got me.
John's fine. Yeah.
I've been playing it with Jack. Me and Jack love playing it. So did Brooks actually.
Wait for the next big update. So there's lots more content.
It's not gonna be
the Mistlands are next. I know that.
Mistlands already out.
It is?
Yeah, they're working on something else now, I think.
Never mind. I know they pushed back the boat one. They changed their roadmap from last year. I know they had to push a couple back, but
whatever. I'm not in a rush.
And I won't lag either because I have a better computer now. I won't get like 5 FPS.
It's your internet too.
My internet's totally fine now. I can stream in 1080p, so it's fine.
Wait till winter when the wind's blowing hard. Like, oh fuck, disconnected.
That doesn't make any sense.
Wait till it starts raining.
I know.
Like Saturday.
As soon as the clouds show up, your internet's just gonna go to shit.
Oh my god.
Well, there's clouds outside right now and 100-degree weather.
It was drizzling this morning, yeah.
But anyway, okay. Here's another. What do you prefer? Even though you said less hand-holding, but you did mention a theme park, which was Ragnarok. What do you prefer, theme park MMOs or sandbox MMOs?
First of all, Ragnarok is not theme park. They just let you loose. because there's no. Okay, I get why you think it's a theme park.
Okay, go on, correct me.
For the people at home, could you guys explain to those who don't play MMOs that much what the difference is between those different kinds of MMOs?
Yes. Thank you for saying that, producer.
Yeah.
So what a theme park is, let's go with the most generic. World of Warcraft. You get in the game, you have a main quest, you follow that main quest all the way to the end of the game, just like in a theme park. You get in line, you go all the way to the end of the line, you get on the ride, you're done. That's what theme parks are. That is the most popular because your hand is held the entire game with everything in the game telling you exactly what to do. A sandbox, perfect example, it's not an MMO, but this is a sandbox, is Minecraft. You're dropped in the world of Minecraft. Nothing is telling you what to do aside from the tutorials on how to like make fire or something. Other than that, you're left up to your own imagination. For an MMO example, you have ArcAge, you have Ultima Online, you have Albion Online, Legends of Aria, which is now an MMO NFT, which we'll get to that later. Where again, they drop you into the game. You have somewhat of a main goal, but nothing is holding your hand getting there. You choose how you want to get to the end. That's the whole point of a sandbox. Multiple routes to the end instead of just one single quest line. So anyway,
New World one of them too.
I'm not.
Is it?
I don't know. I stopped caring about that game about a year ago.
No one cares about that.
I know it's
more like old
fest.
New World, more like old world.
Like even the video game Lost Ark, that is a theme park.
That is a
game. It's a fantastic one that I need to go back to one
one.
day. Final Fantasy 14 theme park. EverQuest theme park. So yes, theme park is very standard because it requires a lot less creativity to do it that way, in my opinion. Because if you have a sandbox MMO, the player has to create the content. For example, in ArcAge, what do you do when you get to level 55 and you've killed all the bosses that you want to kill? Okay, now you have to create content for yourself. In a theme park game, what do? You just PvP over and over. You PvE over and over, the same shit. In ArcAge, okay, I want to build a house. Okay, go build a house. I want to sail the ocean. Okay, sail the ocean. I want to get the biggest ship. I want to go treasure hunting. I want to build a fucking castle. You can do all of that. Whatever you think is your end game can be your end game in a sandbox. That's why I prefer it. So anyway, back to the main question for Ryan. What do you prefer?
So, okay, first of all, Ragnarok, I think it was more like a hybrid. So it's like a theme park and sandbox combined.
I agree.
It's in between.
According to the internet, that would make the game a sand park.
Because you don't have a main quest you follow. They just literally drop you off and you figure out how you want to change class and travel, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, to be fair, like when they drop you off, they give you 0 money. And if you want to become like, let's say you first say you want to become a thief.
Yeah.
So they drop you off in this desert. And then halfway through fighting, you say, oh, I want to be an archer. But after killing enemies, you don't get gold from them. You actually they drop loot, and you have to sell the loot to get money. But it's never enough to teleport. So you actually have to walk, cross the fucking desert, go into the forest, go to the town, and find an NPC to actually become an archer. Like they don't tell you who to talk to become an archer.
Okay.
Like if you're lucky, maybe someone will post it online, tell you like, oh, this is what you do to become an archer, and you do the quest, you can archer, blah blah blah, so on. So it was more like in between, which is why I really like, because you just explore. It's all up to you. All right. For me personally, I actually prefer something like that, something in between. It's not full sandbox where you can just like go around kill people out of nowhere.
Okay.
Like,
yeah.
But also like but not to you not being, your hands not being held the whole time, like going through a quest. Like I actually don't care so much about doing main quests to level up. Like if I have to kill monsters to level up, kill monsters that are stronger than me to level up, so be it. I don't care. Like I'll find a party if I have to. We'll kill monster, go explore like a fucking dungeon, kill stronger monsters together, level up that way. And that's what I used to do in Ragnarok too. It's like we would find party in like a well-known hub in front of like this desert city. You look for party. You just yell across the fucking map.
That's right.
Like look,
yelling in games. Yeah.
Yeah, you would just yell and you would just get a party, and then after that, one of the priests would because the only one who can teleport to a specific location was a priest, because they can create a warp, like a portal that they can memorize. Only priests can do this. So you have to at least have 2 priests, whatever, and you just teleport there and you
That's
start
cool.
your dungeon hunting. Because at the time there's no teleport is like a luxury. So you would have to ask a priest to teleport you. Even then it costs a catalyst to teleport you. So there's like a whole system on it, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's what I look for usually. So
Okay.
it has to be in between, like not too much hand holding, but also enough to freedom for you to just like do whatever you want, explore. If you die, you fucking die.
Yeah. And there are some games out there that are sandbox or even hybrid sandbox, like previous ones I mentioned, such as Legends of Aria and Albion, where it's so sandboxy that it has a full loot system. Ultima came up with this where if you die, whatever the fuck you're carrying gets dropped on the ground. So you have to make backups of backups of backups of your gear. Because I remember when I was playing Albion, I was happy in my guild. I'm like, I got to tier fucking 4. Hell yeah. And they're like, make a backup. I made 2 backups. We do some open world PvP. I die instantly because magic kills melee all the time, unfortunately, unless you're stealth.
Was it RuneScape like that too?
I don't remember. I only played RuneScape for 5 minutes and then I
I
quit.
remember because like Simon was saying he was stabbing someone and he was level 1 and some high level dropped everything. He took everything and he ran away.
It is a sandbox game, so yeah, RuneScape. Yeah, I played for like 5 minutes. Someone told me when I was a kid, play RuneScape, go to runescape.com. I made an account, and the first thing I had to do was make firewood. I did that for 5 minutes. I'm like, this is boring. And I quit. I'm like, I'm not gonna sit here and make firewood. I want to kill a monster. And then I didn't pick up an MMO until fucking I met you in high school and we played Flife, and I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
okay, this is better than chopping wood. So
Club Penguin's a good MMO.
yeah, I never played that either.
I would-
I didn't
It's a-
get
it's
into
a-
any of that shit.
It's a very role playing game. Like you have to pretend to make pizza for like this fucking
Oh my
13-year-old or 15-year-old. Because the people who be playing Club Penguin is like 12 or 13, right?
Yeah, that's right.
14. Like, oh, here's pizza.
I kind of wish I did get deep into RuneScape because like the build of it is exactly what I want in a video game.
Yeah,
It's just that
it
it's
was good
old.
design.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I tried getting into RuneScape 3, but I couldn't get past the fact that it was still completely point and click. Like I wanted to use WASD in a 3D
Yeah,
game. I didn't
that's
want to
what-
click and
that-
use WASD at the same time.
That
Ugh.
bothers me a lot too. Like when I'm playing Ragnarok, you have to click to move.
And for the listeners, WASDs are the keys on your keyboard. WASD. You use that instead of the arrow keys. Because arrow keys are for noobs.
Was these nuts?
What? Desnu.
Got him!
Yeah.
He just called out a whole group of people for no
He
reason.
fucking did. Wow. Okay. Well, here's another interesting question. JMMORPG versus KMMORPG. What works and what doesn't, in your opinion?
Oh my god. Okay, first of all, KMMORPG. So of course the constant one is always grinding, right? That's what everybody thinks of, grinding in KMMO, right?
That is the big Korean thing. Yep.
Now that I think about it, Japan actually made grinding popular with the Pokemon games.
It works to a certain degree. You cannot just like have people spam the same thing over and over and over again. Like it doesn't. People get tired. I mean, some people like it, and I like it to a certain point. Like, I don't mind doing dungeons here and there. I like grinding it, right?
Yeah.
But you get tired of it after like doing it for so long. It just gets repetitive. It just becomes like you're playing the same game. Well, of course you're playing the same game every day, but like you're doing the same thing every single day. It's like going to work.
Yeah, it's literally a grind. Yeah.
It really, yeah. So I don't think it works to a certain degree, right?
Mhm.
And I think if they combine it with like JRPG style, like for example, 14, Final Fantasy 14,
Yeah.
right? So they have the roulette system,
Mhm.
right? So you're not stuck with this. So with the Korean one, they keep leaving you behind, right? If once you progress so
Yep.
far, they leave you behind. You're
Oh
stuck
yeah.
forever, and you cannot progress anymore.
Yeah.
The one difference with the Japanese one is that once you, if you progress, if you just like quit the game for like a month or so, you come back. There's always like the roulette system. People will help you out. Like, well, people don't help you out, but it's like people who are queuing, they can help you out with your quest.
Yeah.
Right. So that's the one thing I like about 14, because like no matter how long you've left, there's always gonna be people doing that content. There's always like going back to it. Right.
Yes.
But the Korean one, once you leave, that's it. There's old content is dead. No one's
Yeah.
gonna do it anymore.
They're very noob friendly when it comes to the JMMO 14, which is really good. Like they encourage you to help out newbies because you'll get a bonus for helping them out or whatever.
Yeah, incentives. There's incentives.
Yeah, there you go. Incentives. I like that. Where I remember talking to you about Lost Ark a couple weeks ago. I'm like, hey, what do you think about going back to Lost Ark? Because we've taken a break for a while, and I have a new computer now. And you're like, I don't want you. I'm like, why? And you said because the gear gap is too big, and we're going to be left behind. And like, there's content that's already dead, even though we haven't played in like 4 months or whatever. And I completely agree. That's how fast it goes. It is the same with like Black Desert Online. I looked at a video that had a list of all the dead content. It was about 30 different things on the list. All the shit that we used to do in Black Desert, it is now dead content. Yeah. Nobody fucking does that anymore, which is ridiculous. So they need to find a way. That is a very big problem when it comes to Korean MMOs. And also, yeah, that ties into the whole gear gap, because you go in there, I left with probably like 480 gear score. We go in there now, there's probably people with like 800. We're never going to catch them. Yeah. Not like we PvP, but we're going to struggle against all the fucking content because we didn't stay on the grind. So that's their lifestyle. I was told, Koreans love doing this. That's why they put it in their games. Their lifestyle also ties into pay to win, which in my opinion is a big downfall of Korean MMOs, because JMMOs in America and Western don't have pay to win typically. Pay to win is totally a Korean thing, because while we come home and spend money on bills and whatever the fuck we spend it on, they go home, they spend their entertainment money on pay to win shit. That's their entertainment. We have other ways of, other means of entertainment. It's like a cultural thing. Yeah. they do smoking
and strippers.
Alcohol and strippers does work, actually. I'm not gonna lie. That's a pretty damn good form of entertainment.
I wouldn't know about the strippers part. I don't do that, but alcohol, yes, or weed, because we can do that here in our state. But yeah, go on.
So the thing about that is like, okay, with the JRPG 2, right? A lot of lower level, they can easily make money because the higher level would still need lower level item to make to craft for craftings, right?
Yeah.
Like if you think Final Fantasy 14, like they do the newest crafting right now, they will still need item from like lower level from the ARR area.
Yeah, that's right.
Craft, right? So the miners of low levels can actually still make money. Right? And that's what actually they did in like the other game like Ragnarok and Nexus. So one of the items, one of the strongest item, like one of the item that gives you like a pretty good stats for a tank, requires you like this like 1,000 jelly, right? Jelly drops from like a level 1 monster. No one has the time to kill, and they don't always drop. No one has the time to kill like 10,000 jellies for that jelly.
Yeah, that is a lot of grinding.
That's a lot of. That's
a lot.
That's like the South Park thing where they're killing the fucking the boars and shit. Like no one's gonna do that.
Exactly, no one's gonna do that, right? And then no one's gonna have the time to just kill 1,000 jellies.
Yeah.
Or sorry, it was at 10,000. No one's gonna have the time to kill 10,000 jelly, but the item was so good.
Yeah.
So the low level player they were killing it as part of their grind, but they were also make money out of it.
Yeah.
So because the higher level people would need to buy it from them, otherwise they just go out and stuff. Because the thing about that too is that they don't they don't just spawn all the time. Like they spawn like it's a huge map. Like think about it like I don't know, like a 1080 by 1080 picture.
Yeah.
So they'll be like all over the place. So you have to keep walking around looking for them. Kind of like we did in Lost Ark. You have to look around. And there's no specific spawn
Yeah.
point.
I remember that.
They're random. There's just no spawn point. They're just like all over the map. So you have to keep walking around looking for it. So not only that you don't have a place you can just camp, you have to keep waiting. You have to look around. It's a lot of time. So that's how the lower level people would make money. They would just like sell to the high level. Here's this much. I have this much. Do you want to buy it for this much? And you make money.
Yeah.
That was the same. That was the same with Nexus because to you have to do a quest to get a skill, and I remember like one of the skill that everybody needs requires to get 1,000 acorn. To get acorn, you have to kill
shit.
squirrels.
Oh god.
Squirrels is a level 1 monster, and who do you pay? The level 1 players, the new players. And it's an incentive for them to get more money, right?
Yeah.
And then like it's an easy mob. You get more money to get better equipment for you to progress the game. Why not? But they don't do that anymore in the Korean MMO now, right? They just like everything drops from a dungeon. It's not crafting anymore.
No.
And here's
That's
the other. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you continue.
I was gonna say like the one thing too with the old Korean MMO is that you can upgrade your gear.
Yeah.
And it can break. If you fail the upgrade, it breaks.
Oh yeah.
You have to do the grind over again. So who do you hire to get the items? Low levels again.
The scrubs. Yep.
Yeah. And they make money. So it's a good system.
That I was gonna say the whole breaking system reminds me of BDO versus Arcade, where in Black Desert, all right, if you're upgrading things and it fails, your shit doesn't break. So you are blessed. You are blessed in the fact that you failed the upgrade, your gear doesn't break. You still have it. It just gets downgraded or something, and you don't have a heart attack. I am guilty of swiping. I paid about $100 to get in-game gold over the course of a year. To get in-game gold, I remember I paid what was it, like $20 at one point, so I can get let's say there's like tier 1 to 15, 15 being the highest. I'm at trying to get tier 7 gear. What happened? I upgraded like 20 items. 10 of them became tier 7. I'm like, fuck it, might as well go fucking tier 8. I tried to upgrade all the tier 8. Not a single fucking one went to tier 8. That is $20 down the fucking drain because they all broke. Because at that time, there was no protection item for going higher. Now, because there are too many crybabies, they're like, oh hey, we'll guarantee your upgrade to tier 12. Like, the fuck? That takes away from the disappointment and the experience. It's like if anybody could do it, it's no longer special. It's one of those things. Yeah. I remember like there's stupid shit in MMOs where people like there's this song called Amino or whatever, and you'll just type it out. People run around the game, make a video, and chant the word Amino, and they'll be praying to RNGesus. It'll be like a 10-minute ritual. They'll try to upgrade their item on top of like the highest peak in the game, and they're like, oh, I got a success, and you'll see it flash across the screen in the game, or it'll be a failure, and then you'll just see in global chat, I failed.
Yeah.
I love shit like that, but they don't do that really anymore.
And the thing with item breaking too is that you can at a time you can sell them. Like you upgrade to like +8, and it's so already hard enough to get to +7.
Yeah.
So you get to +8, it's so expensive. You can sell it, and you get so much money, and you do the whole thing over again.
Yeah, exactly.
So it was a grinding on a different level. It was grinding the market, which is the fun part of grinding.
Yeah,
that's what I do a lot in MMO, grinding the market.
I couldn't do that. There's people I knew who I played with that would actually play the market. They would buy like, okay, let me buy bananas for like 10 copper each. All the bananas in the marketplace for 10 copper for like, for like 100. And then you don't see any more bananas. They put it up there for 1 gold each. And because there's nothing there, people will instantly buy it because it's a high demanding item. The guy makes like 1,000 gold in 5 minutes. I tried that once. And people just undercut me. I'm like, fuck this. I'm not trying this again.
It only works if it's It only works if it's like it takes time to actually gather the material.
Yeah,
I did that a lot in Vindictus too. Like I would
Supply and demand, baby.
Yeah,
I
Supply
can't do
and the
that.
demand.
Ugh.
I was hogging all the iron ore because you need iron ore to craft weapons.
Yeah.
So I would hog everything. I would just anything that's under like a certain amount of silver or whatever. I would buy them all, and resell them double the price, and it would be mine. I set up the new standard, and if nobody ever undercuts me, I buy it and resell it again. And then, so that's what I did. That's how I got money.
Lucky bastard. What are some features you'd like to see in an MMO that don't get that much attention? Besides the topic we literally just talked about, are there any other features that you've seen in MMOs that should get more attention? For example, like transmog isn't present in every MMO. We're lucky that it is present in Final Fantasy 14, but that is one of the big reasons I quit. I don't know if it was for you, why I quit Terra initially.
For those who don't know, transmog means to apply the image of one item onto another. For example, adding a fiery sword to a basic sword, or vice versa.
Because they removed the transmog system and they
Yes,
just
yes.
decided we're gonna just do costumes on the market. And I was like, I don't want to play this game anymore. That
Yeah.
on top of them putting in labor points for some fucking reason.
I don't care
yeah.
so much for transmog. I care. One thing I do like was sailing, like we did in video.
Oh, that kind of exploration. Yes,
There's
I
not a
totally
lot.
agree.
That's
We
the
need,
one thing.
yeah, that's more like that is a part of the sandbox thing because you won't really see that in a theme park. You won't really have like a vehicle just to go around and explore the vast ocean. For those of you that don't know, well, this is his cat Lily. Hi, Lily. Viewer listeners can't hear it, but if you don't know Black Desert Online, the majority of the game takes place on this gigantic continent. It's not all a black desert, but there is a section that's just completely ocean. So think about 75% of the game is on continent. And then you have about 10% of the game, which is ocean. That's still a big fucking number that you can just traverse and you can run into either a ghost ship, like where Ryan and I were taking out his ship on a maiden voyage, and we got attacked by ghost pirates on the
My
way
ship
to this island.
that took 2 weeks to build.
2 weeks because he was grinding. If it was at a normal speed, it would take 4 weeks because you had to manually chop down logs every fucking day. About like I don't know how many, like 10,000 logs or whatever.
Yeah,
That's
a lot.
way
but
too many fucking logs.
It's supposed to simulate realism and a lot of wood going into a
think-
wooden ship, which is
I
stupid.
think you need like about 2,000 logs, and you only get like 1 to 3 logs per tree.
Per yield, which is ridiculous. Even
Yeah.
if you have high gathering and a really good gathering tool, you'll
Hmm.
still only get 1 to 3.
That's
But
assuming someone didn't steal the gathering.
oh yeah, because there's people
coins.
running around doing that shit too, cutting
Yeah.
the trees. Even though they look like they're standing up, they're not. You can run through them. But back to the boat thing. So yeah, the whole ocean was available to you. You couldn't really see the ocean on the map in terms of like, I know exactly where to go. It was a fog of war. The minute you go out to uncharted waters, you don't know what the fuck is out there. You're just going in a random direction, just like in the desert in that game. You don't really have a direction. The last 5% of the game is all the way in the upper corner, which is like some fishing village, which the whole point of going there is to, 1, explore, 2, to have an awesome trade route because you'll make tons of money from one trade route, but it's not very efficient because it takes too long. So time versus pay isn't
An
really
hour
good
to
for
get
crossing
there.
the ocean. Yeah. It's not really good crossing the ocean. Plus, your ship takes damage the more you sail it, and you can't fucking repair it, which is that's bad.
Yeah,
So you want to, yeah, there's sea beasts and there's fucking ghost pirates that you can't kill. So yeah, I would love to see that. Arcade has that. You can build your fucking ship. You can go anywhere in the fucking ocean. You can go under the ocean, with a submarine, which is awesome.
Yeah.
In BDO, you can dive down and see, the clear water and get pearls and shit
Oh,
because
that was so good.
those sold for a lot. I remember.
That was
I like
actually
that.
fun. I didn't think like the fact that you can outsail the ocean,
Yeah.
and then after that, if you just stop the ship and you can just dive down, and actually start exploring for like pearls. Like you can actually just like dive to just explore the underwater. It was so good.
Mm-hmm.
That was actually really fun, but not a lot of game has it.
They don't. That I totally agree that more games need that kind of aspect. It doesn't even necessarily have to be a boat in the ocean. It could be any form of transportation. It just needs to go to that level.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
it's different from having a mount in Warcraft or Final Fantasy 14 and having the ability to traverse wherever you want. It's not the same as I built this boat from scratch and now I can, sail it anywhere on the water part of the map and see what the fuck is out there. That's different than having a personal mount.
Mhm.
So I wish there's more of that in game. Hell, I would love like an airship. That would be cool.
Airship
Just
would have been fun too.
take like a zeppelin and fucking go places.
Yeah.
That would be fucking amazing. And I have one more question. What do you prefer personally? Tab target combat or dynamic combat, which is the action one?
Action, of course, like Vindictus.
Mm-hmm.
It's the best one. Like
Mhm.
you actually have to move around to fight instead of well, like Final Fantasy isn't the worst, but I don't like tap targeting. It's kind of boring.
It's dated.
Like even oh my god, even Ragnarok wasn't even tap targeting. It was old. And it was not tap targeting. Like you actually have to click and move around dodging AoEs and shit.
Yeah. Same with Lost Ark.
Yeah.
It's a Lost Ark for listeners that don't know, is an isometric MMORPG where it's not actually tab target. You wherever your mouse is, that's going to be where your target is, and you have to maneuver that towards said target and study their battle pattern, and so you can fight them properly. It's not like World of Warcraft where you literally hit the tab button, your enemy is selected, and you can stand in place and just attack. With dynamic combat, you have to focus on dodging, which is to me is a better element of combat because it keeps you immersed. That's what I like personally about dynamic combat, which I can see Ryan does too. It's more fun
It is more fun.
because you feel like you're actually there in the fight going against the player or whatnot. You don't have to worry about because if you're standing there with tab targeting, you cast a spell, what's going to happen? It's automatically going to hit your target. It's locked on. Versus dynamic, you shoot a fucking arrow, it's going to go straight. The person in front of you can just step to the side and you're going to miss, which happened all the time with archers in BDO. You just step to the side and be disappointed that you didn't hit them or whatever. So you have to think more when it comes to that kind of combat. So I wish there were more games like that, and I like that how Lost Ark was able to incorporate that in their game, because most isometric MMOs or video games in general are just tab target. So what they did was they took the element of Diablo, a dungeon crawler, which I know most listeners know what that is. And that has dynamic combat. You don't stand in one fucking place. You need to move around the map and attack your enemy. So they took that whole thing, that concept, and they threw it into an MMO, and it became Lost Ark. So that would be nice to see, more games with that and whatnot. So that's it for the questions section, except for actually, no, wait, there is one more. What do you think of MMO NFTs? This new, for listeners that don't know. So this we've talked about this before. So an MMO NFT, which is it's pay to earn, P2E as they call it. It's a new thing. It's crypto. It's the stupidest shit I've ever heard of. But for listeners that don't know, Legends of Aria, which I mentioned earlier, sold out their company. I don't know the name of the company, but I know they sold out, which really disappointed me because they had a lot of backing. I backed them too. I owned the game, and I was hoping it would succeed with private servers, creating a Legends of Ultima one, but it didn't. They sold out to crypto company, and now, just like games you will find on your cell phone, you complete quests in the game, dailies, which are daily quests that can be done, every day to earn cryptocurrency. To me, it's stupid because one, crypto doesn't have value. It doesn't have value I mean, the dollar doesn't really have value either because, Fort Knox is useless at this point, but that's another conversation. Point is, when it comes to crypto, it's not worth anything. So people are playing these games just to earn fake money that doesn't exist. And to me, that takes away from the gaming experience because you're not playing to have fun. You're playing like it's a job. You have to pay to, like, I know people on my Discord friends list, they tell me they're playing an MMO NFT game because they think they can earn tons of money and not work a job and just sit there playing a game, which to me is stupid. So that's my opinion. You, Ryan, what do you think?
First of all, NFT is stupid.
Yes, I
So
agree.
the fact that you actually put that in an MMO is kind of stupid. So
Yes.
I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. You might as well just fucking not play it. Just find another game.
I don't think it's gonna succeed. I don't know why they keep pushing it because at this point, nobody fucking buys NFTs anymore because it was a hit because nobody knew what it was and it became like one of the biggest scams ever, and then people learned what it was and then it just fell off.
Everybody
Really
hates it.
within the span of a year. Yeah.
Like a lot of YouTube content creators hates NFTs too. It's like the idea is just stupid.
It is, and it's unfortunate that so many people bought into it. There's like a guy I know who like took selfies of himself, and he was 21 years old, and he made like 6 figures off of his selfies as NFTs. That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard of, but that's how you make money nowadays. You bank on the stupid. So
yeah,
that's
True.
unfortunate.
Like he's not wrong for doing it. It's the people who bought it.
I totally agree. And that goes along with this new MMO genre, which I hope just stays, in its corner and doesn't try to branch out and become big because nobody cares about crypto either, especially due to the fact that, the market tanked this year, which is funny. I'm glad I never bought into that. So that to me, that kind of shit, finance and like even stock, that needs to stay the fuck out of video games. Like video games need to stay being their own thing. So that will conclude the question section. Now, I actually have a couple videos to bring up, and I'd like your opinion as we watch them.
Porn?
So, no, it's not porn. You can't fucking show that. So for the first one, let's go with Dual Universe. I'm not sure if you know what this is. This is a voxel-based sci-fi MMORPG similar to No Man's Sky, but you can build your own ship instead of finding your own ship out in the wild and upgrading it. You build your own ship from scratch, and you can take off and go into outer space and land on planets and what have you. It's launching at some point this year on September 27th, which is surprising because I didn't even think it was still alive when I first heard about this game.
That's in
like
2 weeks.
5 years ago. Yeah.
Dude.
Break. Welcome back, everybody. We are back from the break. Now, in front of us, we are going to watch the first video clip that I was talking about earlier, Dual Universe. This is 2 years of the beta. This is the most recent video I could find, unfortunately, even though the game is coming out in 2 weeks. Every other video out there is over an hour long, and we don't have time for that. So let's take a look at what 2 years of a beta has done for this game.
There's this guy, Magi Madoka Magic.
What the fuck are you doing? I don't give
hell?
a shit.
Sorry, I saw Madoka Magic. I got excited.
Shut up. Is this something you would play, Ryan?
Just from the start of this? No.
No. Okay. I mean, I'm usually the space guy, so that's why.
I don't mind space. I actually like it. I just...
there's your exploration. And this is marketed as an MMO, as in there are thousands of people online at the same time, so that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Initially, this game turned me off because I was like, oh, it's voxels, but then I looked at it more and I'm like, okay, it's not that bad. Because look at that, a free market. Like, you control the economy. Sorry, I cut you off.
That's fine.
See, that's cool. I don't know what that is. Yeah, this looks gorgeous. I've kept this game at the back of my head for so many years,
Like
thinking it wasn't going to come out.
the theme, I don't mind. Like I actually like it.
Okay.
It's just that it's not like. I'm gonna keep seeing it.
Seeger, check
See,
your phone.
that's fucking awesome. My phone. For what? What part of my phone? John?
Discord.
I mean, it's okay. Like I like the theme. It's just like I don't know the visual wise, in terms of how it is. Maybe not. I'm not really into it. Like the theme is fine.
Okay. So for the listeners that can't see what just happened, yes, I know I'm quiet. Shut the fuck up, John. Because that's how I am when I watch movies. Anyway, so what we just witnessed was 2 years of a beta of this sci-fi game that uses a voxel-based system, but not as bad as Minecraft boxes and what have you. And this game comes with a bot-free player market. It comes with the ability to build and customize your own spaceship, given if you have the materials. It allows you to travel through space, lift off of planets, and land on planets. Something that isn't in a lot of space games today, other than No Man's Sky, and eventually Elite Dangerous had it at some point. It allows you automated mining systems so you don't have to worry about constant resource hunting at a certain stage in your gameplay, which is always fantastic. Because manually doing shit over and over gets fucking annoying at some point. And it just looks a lot better than it used to, although the graphics are still kind of dated. It still looks like a fun play, in my opinion.
For you listeners, John keeps fucking up the video for some reason. This is the third time already. Come on, man.
Able to traverse the galaxy with thousands of other people versus No Man's Sky, where you just see people in a hub and the map is too damn big for you to actually see anything at all. So, yes. What do you think about that, Ryan?
Of the game?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean it's fine. I think it's good, but it's not something I will be like trying out.
Okay.
But it's not like it's a bad thing. It's just not for me. But I can see why
Understandable.
it's interest. People like it.
Yeah, no, I totally get that. I was like that with a lot of the games that were shown in the Gamescom video. Some of the games look interesting, but not interesting in my category. Interesting for people such as yourself or our friend John, my friend Brooks, or even our mutual friend Dr. Kearns would have liked some of those games. I'm not really into. I like indie games, but I don't like all indie games. So a lot of the games. Well, when I do see indie games, I usually think of you and Kearns because you guys are big on those. But I typically know which indie games you like in particular, so that helps me identify what would work. Like such as the last year of Nostalgia. You, me, and Jose, we all agreed we're gonna buy that shit. That looks fucking awesome. Stick figure Dark Souls. And I guess he picked the next video to show for 6.2 Final Fantasy. Actually,
oh no, I just moved it over because
okay.
Didn't want.
I don't even think we're gonna need to watch that one.
I didn't want all the extra stuff just floating around in the background.
But in closing about Dual Universe, I've always wanted a really good space game. In my opinion, as much as I love Elite Dangerous, it's fucking boring because first of all, the Odyssey expansion was the first time you could get out of your ship and walk around in Elite Dangerous. It is Elite Dangerous to adventure. That's not Elite Dangerous.
No, listen.
Stop
listen to me.
fucking around.
I'm doing something in the background. Don't pay attention to me.
Anyway, it's on the stream. Anyway, Elite Dangerous, for people that don't know, is a privateer space game where you get into a spaceship and you have access to the entire almost 100% accurate recreation of the Milky Way. So that I praise the game on that because there are lots of star systems in the Milky Way that they actually got right in that game. So that is very cool. But one thing I didn't like about it was that when the game first came out, it was very bare bones. It was just flying around, shooting, mining, escorting. That's it. Versus Star Citizen, which is another MMO in space. They're cursed with feature creep, which is, hey, we're going to add this to the game. Hey, we're going to add this to the game without actually releasing the game first itself. So there's no point in doing that. So yes, that's what I think about Dual Universe. Now for our next video, it's going to be Fractured Online. I believe I showed this to you, Ryan,
Yes,
but we can watch it again. It is for listeners that don't know what this is one of the isometric games I am looking forward to. And usually I'm picky when it comes to MMOs because I like games that have a arsenal of spells. Like World of Warcraft gives you 20 to 30 spells to weave in and out with combat. That way you can have any type of spell fit your arsenal when you're being attacked. It's like, oh, hey, I need to use this freeze spell right now. Okay, let me dodge and get out of the way and link it up with this lightning spell. Cool. Or, a shield bash ability followed by a grapple. Blah, blah, blah. You can't fucking do that in a lot of MMOs today. It's just you smash one button, 2, 3 buttons, and hope to fuck your combo works or whatever. Even in Black Desert Online, when you're weaving together abilities, a lot of them are memorized because they'll tell you in their dynamic combat system, hey, let's do a conal. I want to do a conal attack. I want to do a grapple. Okay, just press E, press R, press Q, press Shift, W. You memorized it with your hand, and it's more than 10 abilities. Guild Wars 2, you get 5, 10 abilities, then you have to rotate weapons and you have to link it up that way. That's too stupid and too boring in my opinion, so I hate that shit. But the only exceptions I have where there's 10 abilities are games like Lost Ark, or games like this video that we're going to watch when I say watch it. It's Fractured, because the game is so exciting that it makes you forget about the 10 abilities, and it is so dynamic with the combat, or it's just fun to play, and the 10 abilities don't really matter. Most MMOs can't get that right. So now we can watch the early access trailer for Fractured Online, which I will be buying at some point too. And I can't hear it.
Into the dynamic world of Fractured Online.
So this is a medieval-based game. It seems to have, I believe it has a full loot system, just like I spoke before, meaning you die, you drop everything. It is very pretty for an isometric game, pretty along the lines of Lost Ark.
Yeah.
There are multiple different races. There's a lot of exploration, and I like the fact that, they have demons. That's not something you could usually play as a race. Wild folk. You could be a fucking furry. You could be... no offense to furries out there, but you can be
humans.
Deer.
Worst of one of all.
I guess so.
Maybe an elf or something?
I don't think so. And unfortunately, it doesn't look like there's a lot of character customization, but at this point it doesn't matter because your camera will be way above their head, so character customization doesn't matter as much as it does for a third-person MMO, such as Black Desert.
Looking at it from this way, it looks like this game's actually a lot more focused, like you said, not so much on your character's look and how customizable you can be, but more or less how your gameplay is going to go out. So it's going to be focused solely on the team aspects, the combat aspects.
Exactly. And it looks very simple. I hope... there goes my fidget spinner.
Wow.
See? As the narrator just said, they encourage you in this game to do exploration. So, Brian, you will definitely like that. And this game, look at that. It only has about 1, 2, 3, 4. It only has about 8 skills, but it allows you to pick the most important ones. And again, I'm making an exception because to me this is more entertaining than Guild Wars in terms of the combat, even though it's pretty simplistic versus the semi-tab target dynamic with Guild Wars 2 and what have you. But this is the kind of game that, yes, teamwork is necessary. I can't just run off and leave you alone like I usually do, Ryan. But look at this. You can build your town up, as you just saw in the video. That guy built a key building for the town, which in my opinion, is also cool because that's something Ashes of Creation has. You have to build your town from scratch, thus making a thriving community. So if this game kicks off, the community aspect is going to be a big sell for the game. I mean, look at this. You have 50 people on screen doing a raid or whatever. You have fucking catapults. That's awesome. Like, yeah, I don't see very many games that have catapults at the disposal. PvP, that's not my thing anymore. I'm a retired PvPer.
Their special abilities will help you in all kinds of situations.
Yeah,
This fucking dragon. Look at that.
It doesn't look bad.
September 15th, join early access.
Ugh.
So if I play that, will you play that? If it gets out of early access?
I mean, I'll give it a try.
Yes, that's all I need to hear. That's all I need to hear.
Let us also state for the record that is a $40 price tag on that.
Oh my god, $40?
I know, just get it on sale. I'm not paying. Remember, for listeners, I'm not buying games that are at their MSRP price ever, unless the price justifies the means, such as
Dark Souls.
no,
Elden Ring.
No, you didn't even buy Elden Ring at full price. You waited for a sale.
No, I didn't. I bought it full price.
Oh,
I bought that shit as soon as it came out. I had it pre-ordered. I was ready to go.
I did that with Mass Effect Legendary Edition because it deserved it.
Elden Ring deserved
here,
it.
look at that.
That's our
Elden
game
Ring
of the year. Right there, buddy.
Sandbox.
It is.
I don't care. That's a whole other conversation. Not my thing. But yeah, open world sandbox. See, look at that founders pack. No, $40 game. You lied to me. Look, it's $25.99.
Well, it's 40 if
40.
you buy it after pre-sale.
It's
$38.99 euros.
But what's the price on Steam? Euros. We're in America. Okay?
Yeah, but this is straight from Fractured's online website.
If you go to Steam, actually, there's no price on Steam, so you have
I was gonna say, like I said, according to what the website says right now, you pre-order, you get it for $26. In dollars, it's probably like 25, 26.
I'm tempted, but
But
I
that
don't
means
like
you have to
pre-ordering.
pre-order.
I know.
Pre-order
I'm
a
not.
beta.
Yeah, I know. I did that with. It's not a beta. It's early access. Difference.
It literally
I
says
did that
beta
with.
access.
Yeah, you have access to the beta, but the beta is over because the game, the early access is coming out, so it's no longer a beta. The beta was from way long time ago. I didn't know
That
this
is
game
debatable,
existed.
but I'm gonna let that slide for a tangent.
Your face is debatable. Okay, so
no
tangents there.
No.
I don't.
No need for a tangent. Early access games require the constant ongoing testing of the public to help them build their game. Betas are games nearing completion that just need 1 or 2 final test runs prior to release. Early access games take forever, whereas betas are already on their way out of the door.
So, in closing, it seems you're interested, which is my goal, to find interesting games. Because for listeners and people that just don't know Ryan and me, and
and Ryan.
whenever we're not playing an MMO, I feel the desire to play something with him because our friend Jose is usually doing something else, so I can't rope him in. And he has a different taste in MMOs than we do. And Ryan and I are more open to playing smaller IP games such as this, such as Korean MMOs that no one's ever fucking heard of, versus this person I used to know, Sari and Jose, who prefer bigger IPs like, Square Enix with Final Fantasy, Blizzard with World of Warcraft, ArenaNet with Guild Wars 2. We're okay with any other MMO as long as it looks enjoyable, and it actually is enjoyable. We'll give it a shot. Just once. If it's shit, then forget it. We won't go back to it. But yeah, I'm usually trying to find an MMO to play with Ryan. I remember several times in the same year, I think it was like 5 years ago, I talked to Ryan about looking for an MMO, and he's like, you've talked about this before. This is like the 3rd time, Seeger. I'm like, I know, but I'm so bored. So I would try to just force us to play an MMO. It never worked until, a title got announced, and then we got around to it. Like the games we played together were Fly for Fun initially. Then we played Terra, and then we played Black
BDO.
Desert. No, we played. Wait, did you play Arcades with me?
For a bit. No, not we. I mean, you invited me, but you were busy doing something else. But I was playing it for a bit.
Okay, so there's that one, and I ditched him in that one. This is where my bad habit came from. And then we played BDO together, and I ditched him to do PvP stuff with my guild. And then we played Final Fantasy 14 together. And then at some point, I made a promise never to ditch him again in MMO, which we did that with Lost Ark, and I didn't end up ditching him because I no longer care about joining guilds, so I don't have to worry about ditching him. And
sounds like a lot of ditching on your end there, huh?
I got addicted to the PvP and the group. That's what happened. It's hard not to. When you have a huge group and you're not a part of it, it's like, I'm like, I gotta do content with the guild, but it's like, I gotta play with my best friend. I'm like, what do I do? Sorry, bye, Ryan.
That's not very fairy tale of you, Seeger.
I know.
Shut the fuck up. But no, I promise not to do that again. And I also made another promise, a sidebar, not to fuck everything up when it came to us playing Baldur's Gate 3. That way we could play Baldur's Gate 3 and play Divinity Original Sin 2 again for the 4th time.
How would you fuck it up?
How would I fuck it up? Because you should watch us play. I like to blow everything up. Literally. I like to cast fire. Let's see what this does.
I do the same thing to Brooks.
It's the chaos run, and he fucking hates it. At least on the first run, he hates it. Because I did that the first playthrough with him and Jose, and they were sick and tired of it after about an hour. But we muddled through, and then I made a promise to them never to do that for the first run of Baldur's Gate. We have to treat it as normal gameplay.
It's fair for them to be upset, because if you're not taking into account what's happening and where they are and what else is going to blow up, then they'll be angry.
Yeah.
So
this whole conversation is a tangent, so this is good. I'm going to cut this out. But yeah, so bouncing off the tangent, going back to the next video I have set up for us. It's actually something Ryan talked to me about before. I don't know. I
did.
I hate to say this. I don't know much about it. It looks like a fucking Genshin clone. I actually have a page open about it to describe it to the readers. So give me 1 second. It's called Tower of Fantasy. So for the not readers, the listener. So for listeners that don't know what Genshin Impact is, it is a mobile MMORPG that shocked the world about a year ago when it was first announced, because it looked very Breath of the Wild like with anime, and and to this day it still is. It's very Breath of the Wild like in its exploration aspect, which drew people to the game. What turned me off was the fact that it was a mobile game. With mobile MMOs, you have 3 fucking abilities and that is it. This ties into why I don't like games with barely any abilities. It hardly requires any skill to play those games because you're just pressing 3 buttons versus a multitude of buttons. With a fucking MMO mouse here, hello, I have fucking 12 buttons on the side that I can roll my thumb across. That makes me feel like I'm playing an MMO, not a goddamn normal mouse and you press 3 buttons. Anyway, that's besides the point.
5 buttons.
See, that's better than just 3. But anyway, Genshin was fantastic because it drew people in with, its beautiful graphics and gameplay and everything. I played it for 1 hour. I gave it a shot. I didn't like it. Big drawback with the game, it's a gacha game. That's the problem with mobile games. What a gacha game is, they pull you in thinking everything is free, and they're like, oh, you want this pretty thing here? You're going to have to pay for it. Or you're going to have to spend 10 million hours grinding in-game to earn it yourself through RNG, which is random number generator for listeners that don't know what that is. That is basically shitty luck. Technically it means like chance. That's your chance system is RNG. So if you have bad RNG, you're not going to get what you fucking want. There was a streamer named Lakari that spent $2,000 just to get one fucking character in Genshin. That's why I hate that game. And people love it. There are people who will stand up for it and say, this is an amazing game. You don't have to pay anything. I don't give a shit. I don't like it.
You don't have to pay $2,000. No one forced you to pay $2,000.
True. Exactly. That is always your argument too, is because you were able to succeed in MMOs that had pay to win systems, and you did it without paying a dime. So you did that in BDO, you did that in Lost Ark, you didn't have to pay a dime, you did that in Terra. I swiped for Terra for fucking Alcahest to put that on the marketplace, so I had enough to buy whatever the fuck I wanted or whatever. I wanted to.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Did that Magic the Gathering?
yeah. No. I have actually spent $20 on Magic the Gathering. I paid the $5 for that one time purchase for all those.
Okay.
That
Oh yeah.
was worth it.
So yeah, for Magic the Gathering, I did the $5 one just so I can get
Okay.
started.
Yeah. So
Just to
that
get
was
something.
that was a good purchase because it
Yeah.
was one time and you got a
See-
bunch of good shit.
Yeah. So
After
I did
that,
that.
I paid for gems and I'm like, I want to kind of play ranked. So I played ranked. I got my ass handed to me. Ryan was guiding me, and I still didn't fucking listen to him because my brain was like, he said something. Wait, what did he say? I ignored you, and then I just did something else. And he's like, "What the fuck, Seeger?"
Man,
Yeah,
that
that's
sounds
the problem
so
with
familiar,
ADHD.
Ryan. I'm sorry.
Oh, Jesus. I know, right?
Jeez, suck my dick. Anyway, so this is another tangent, which is great. Actually, no, this is not really a tangent. This is just explain. So anyway, listeners, so yeah, that's Genshin Impact. Very pretty anime game. You could play it on your phone. You could play it on PC. You could even play it on the Switch. A lot of
Wait,
people
you
still love
can?
Oh
it.
yeah.
I'm pretty sure you can.
You know what? Hold on.
I
No.
need-
I'll find out for you right now. Give me 1 second.
I need to download it on Switch.
Let
Yeah,
me do
it
what
says-
every
it
good
says
gaming
it's-
journalist does and pull his Switch right out of his backpack.
It's coming. It was released on the Switch. No, sorry. It was supposed to be released in 2020, but it is coming out eventually. It was supposed to be.
Oh, so it's not out yet.
It was supposed to be out on September 28th, 2020. That was the initial.
Wait, we're in 2022.
2 years now.
Yeah, I know. I don't know why they haven't done it, but that was
Because of
an
pandemic.
original. Yeah, it's
Pandemic
over.
Screwed. Yeah, that doesn't matter. Why do you think games keep getting delayed back and forth, over and over and over again?
I
Do you
don't know, but
understand the
anyway,
development issues that come with having to work from home as a game developer? You can't just go into the shop, take your rig home, and take that PC and work on stuff from home. There is a huge problem in the industry where working from home, yeah, it helps move production along and development. Otherwise, we wouldn't be getting a lot of these games for another 2 years.
all right. Anyway,
So-
you got a point. But anyway, yeah.
the-
So Tower Fantasy
pandemic?
is basically now a Genshin clone, considering Genshin Impact is now the staple for pulling idiots in to play a free mobile game because there are a lot of other MMO games that are on your phone, but none as successful as Genshin. I know people who have spent tons of money just fucking rolling the RNG dice, and it's ridiculous. So let's take a look now at what Tower of Fantasy has to offer that is different from Genshin Impact.
I did the same thing for Honkai Third Impact.
What?
It was the game that came before Genshin from Hoyoverse.
Oh, okay.
It was what led up to Genshin.
Automatically, it looks different in the sense that there is sci-fi. Genshin doesn't have sci-fi; it's purely fantasy.
Tower Fantasy has sci-fi. It's called Tower Fantasy.
Yes, but there's science in here. See, look at that. That's a science force field, science tentacles that you can see. They're having a science headache, I think. Look at that mechanical monster. That's
Ice
not
Monster.
a science monster.
What about Last Star Rail?
I don't know what that is.
It's
Never.
the other Hoyoverse sci-fi game.
Not a fan of Hoyo, so I'm not that sure. If it hasn't
It's
look at that science hand.
It's
Science
supposed to be
and
like an
science
actual
grab.
game though, not a gotcha.
Like, okay, I don't mind playing this kind of game, even Genshin. I'll try it. I'm just not gonna spend any money on it.
Oh, I know that. You did play Genshin for a little bit, and I know Jose did too. But you guys were very reluctant on paying. I don't want to pay for a free-to-play game either. Like, I'll pay for maybe something that I need right away, but I'm not gonna pay more than what I should. I'm not gonna go over the $20 limit anymore.
Game itself looks fine.
It looks very pretty. It's a nice Genshin clone.
That's not really a gameplay though. It's just more like a trailer. So.
Well, yeah, it's the launch trailer.
We'll see. We'll see when actually gameplay comes out. I never trust.
Bring up a gameplay video, John. I just brought this up because it's a trailer.
It's fine. Don't worry about it. But like the game wise, it looks pretty and everything. I would try it, but I'm not gonna go ape shit about it.
I agree.
Don't worry. I mean, you don't have to bring it up, but okay.
No, we do.
I'll just put it on because
See the
Part
hard
of
thing. Oh, see, look at even Lazy Peon reviewed this. For those of you who don't know, Lazy Peon is my favorite MMORPG game reviewer on YouTube. He's a really cool guy. He actually gives a lot of unbiased opinion because he was criticized for a long time for having biased opinion on games, considering he didn't play for more than like 4 hours. But he changed the way he played games, and he played it to like level 50 in order for him to give him an actual opinion. Well, no, he did that for like Final Fantasy 14, and he only played for 4 hours, and he's like, I hate this game. And
Sounds familiar.
it's not really familiar, so shut up.
Like, okay, just the gameplay I just saw.
That's not gameplay.
It looks no, on the beginning there was some gameplay.
Oh, okay.
in the
He's
first
looking at
level.
the Lazy Peon video. This is not a gameplay video. This is just his review. There's
It's
character customization.
Like-
okay, that's
like it really looks like a
it's your typical
Genshin.
Genshin. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a clone.
It's not bad. It's honestly, I would play it
It's
for a
very
bit.
it looks pretty. It actually doesn't look that bad. If this is a mobile
It
game,
doesn't.
I'm actually really impressed because
I like
Honkai
how
was very similar, but it wasn't open world like this looks to be.
I like how sci-fi it mixes sci-fi with fantasy. Not a lot of games do that very well, to be completely honest. It's hard to pull that off, the seamless transition between them and make them blend in.
Yeah.
But
Look,
you know,
science
if I
experiment.
didn't science experiment, is that the thing now? If I didn't hate gotcha games, I would give this a try. But I've already had my fair share with Genshin Impact.
I'll still try it. A science surfboard, science
Science
jump.
jumping. Science landscape.
Yeah.
Look, it's Breath of the Wild.
Breath of the Wild with
Yeah.
like Jack and Daxter Precursor Legacy looks fucking
Not
steampunk
bad.
shit.
I would try it. Looks nice.
This is very.
Like
This
I said-
actually looks really cool.
For a mobile game, this actually doesn't look bad.
Yeah,
This looks
surprisingly
really
good.
And
Mobile games have come a long way.
MiHoYo is actually really good about making their games. Given that,
Yeah.
Genshin is a gacha, but the gameplay itself is actually really intriguing. It's fun. It's addictive enough to make people want to keep playing, keep rolling that money out
Yeah.
just to get a character,
Mhm.
especially
There's-
the characters.
There's nothing wrong with the gacha system. I mean, there's so many
Yes,
things
there
wrong
is.
with it, but
Oh yeah,
But-
there's definitely things wrong with gacha system. don't
no,
get me wrong.
but I'm saying like if you're the one who's spending the money, they're not the one alluring you with. I mean, they're not the one forcing you to spend the money. You're the one forcing yourself to spend the money. Like if
Oh.
you only have yourself to blame for that, honestly.
Yeah.
Oh, I just found a new video that's actually worth throwing up here. It is a preview of an expansion coming out for this very game for Tower of Fantasy. It's
This game has an expansion already. Jesus.
It says it's a preview. Tower of Fantasy's coming expansion. The city of Miroria, a new boss, and more. It's cyberpunk themed. So throw that video up. Welcome to Vera.
Vera.
So this is okay. So they have desert. Your favorite
Oh,
biome,
Forspoken.
Ryan.
Hey, look, it's Forspoken.
Who's
Ryan-
Forspoken?
For the listener, it's a game we reviewed last week.
We did not review that game. If I could get my hands on that game to review, best believe we would fucking review.
You know what I mean? Shut up. We previewed it. Whatever. We gave our first opinions.
That's a pyramid. It's a
Yes.
science building, science pyramid.
It's a cyberpunk themed expansion with a huge cyberpunk based city.
Science cyberpunk?
Visually, this is a mobile game.
Oh,
Look
that's
at that.
pretty.
Look at
Hey.
that. It's already shitting on Genshin.
Best
You
believe,
listeners are missing out. You got to wait till the video comes out to look at this.
best believe that anyone running this on an iPhone like 11 or older is gonna have a phone blow up in their hands.
It's just going to melt and cause 12th
Oh,
degree
that's-
burns that don't exist. But
You're
yeah,
not
this
gonna
is-
you're not gonna be able to play this
looks
game until
pretty.
the iPhone 14 Pro comes out.
I know. Look at this.
This shit's on the fucking
Makes me want to reinstall Cyberpunk again, play that again, even though I just beat it.
Why
Fuck.
did you get rid of it?
Because once I beat a game, I uninstall it. I don't want to play it anymore. I want to move on to the next one. I have like 50 in my backlog that need to get beaten. I'm not gonna
You can't see me, but
replay
I'm
it right
shaking
away.
my head.
I actually have 80 games I need to beat. So shut the fuck up, John. I'm not replaying shit when I have this big a backlog.
Oh,
Dude, If I put 50 hours in the game, I'm done. I'll come back to it in like 5 years.
This looks pretty. I want to play it now.
Although I'll come back when the Cyberpunk expansion comes out. See,
I'm down to play it. I'll play it on myself if I have to.
yeah, you do that. I'm not gonna. See, look at this. Is beautiful.
Look at that fucking Neon Genesis Evangelion style shit there.
Evangelion. Did he just
Evangelion.
Evangelion. No, that's how he says it. Oh,
It's Evangelion.
oh my
You
god.
prick.
Evangelion.
Evangelion.
So yeah, guys, that was the Tower of Fantasy video section. Now we have, let's see what else is on the docket for today. Okay, I actually just do one more. We're just gonna do Ashes of Creation, John.
Ashes of Creation. That's
no
what
need
I
to go
call it.
over Final Fantasy.
Ashes of Creation is.
Getting your input on the new update would be good, but
No, because I don't want Ryan to spoil shit. Because he's already seen the main story.
It's easy to talk about stuff without spoiling it.
Not Ryan, because not with me here. He's gonna look at him smiling. He's gonna fucking do it.
I'm not gonna do it. The fuck are you talking about?
I don't believe you. I've known you too long.
He has business etiquette. He understands.
I have business etiquette. That's right.
He's not being paid, so that's not going to convince him.
You never pay me for shit. What the fuck are you talking about?
Exactly. See, no, I paid you for dinner. Like when we've had to split the bill and pay one person. Yeah.
You're not paying for my dinner. You're paying for yourself, you prick.
No, I paid for the tip. I put some for the tip, the group tip.
Oh my god, that doesn't count.
I don't give a shit. All right, so for listeners that don't know what Ashes of Creation is, and new people, Ashes of Creation was born from a man who wanted to create a spectacular MMO. He played Arcade. He actually swiped and paid like I think $50K,
Ew.
and he took over the entire New Start server, thus buying out all of the big guilds and controlling all the content because he wanted to stop PvP in the game, and that pissed off everybody. And I know this because a couple of my friends I used to play Arcade with went to that server and experienced that very event. And that guy, he joked about it in like a live stream, said, yeah, I played Arcade, I did this, and said, wow, all right, asshole. But he's creating this game that seems to be in development hell. I say development hell because it's cursed with feature creep, just like Star Citizen is, meaning they keep saying this is an alpha. This game was announced a very long time ago when I originally was playing arcades back then. This was announced
2014.
Yeah, 2014.
Oh, I'm just throwing it out there because I'm thinking about Dead Island. That's developmental hell.
Post announcement. I actually have to look this up. When did it get announced? It said it got it. Well, they had a beta in 2018. No, sorry, it was announced around like 2016, I believe. I don't have an actual date, but I remember around that time. That's a long time for a fucking MMO, and they're still in an alpha. Come on. They've made so much money off of Kickstarter, but I originally didn't want to play this because he fucked up the Arcade thing, so I didn't trust him. And then I didn't want to play it because it had a limited skill set. But like this trailer that we're about to show you, it actually, but not for the listeners, for the viewers, it's actually going to have a pretty cool comment. In this game, it's supposed to be open world sandbox. You're supposed to be able to actually run around and build your own town in 3 stages, from tents to full-on cities. And what's cool is you can have opposing factions come up to your city, raze it to the ground, and take over your land. That, in my opinion, is a aspect of the open world PvP and just sandbox games in general that we don't actually see very often. BDO kind of slightly touched on that with Node Wars. However, Node Wars don't actually, they benefit you money-wise, but they don't serve any other purpose besides that. If you control a city, you can't go anywhere near that fucking city if you're in an opposing guild. Like, you're not going to go, if this is World War II, you're not going to go anywhere near a fucking Japanese camp unless you're going to die or shoot them. If you're just a civilian, you're not going to go anywhere near there. But in BDO, in Node Wars, it doesn't fucking matter. In Ashes of Creation, it fucking matters. Because people are going to see what faction you're in, they're going to try to kill you because you're not welcome in the city. So it gives you an incentive to team up and go after the opposing faction's territory. So let's take a look right now at the Ashes of Creation official Alpha 1 teaser trailer, because they haven't really put out any new alpha videos since then besides hour-long Let's Plays. So this is done on Unreal Engine
3. 4.
No, 4, I believe.
Yeah, I saw.
Definitely not 5.
I saw the gameplay for this.
Look at this. It's visually gorgeous. I just hate that it's still an alpha. And these guys actually made a battle royale version of their game, which I know is stupid. But for the listeners that can't see, no, it is. For listeners who can't see, we're seeing several random magical creatures, dragons. We're seeing a throne room, all this cool looking armor, another dragon, and like a very mushroomy background, an ice dragon, a fire dragon, a guy picking a rock, science project.
Rock.
Fishing, hey Ryan,
Science
fishing.
I love
Log
fishing
chopping.
in
Terraria. Look at this is the building system. Tents, better tents to
Science
a
tent.
full city. Tell me what other game has that where you can build a full fucking city from the ground up? Nothing. That's incredible. With thousands of players online at the same time, and you have to trade between cities that you have peace with. That's incredible.
So
And
it's
you
like
take
art.
mounts.
Yeah.
In a way, well, no, you don't capture animals. And look at this. This is, multiplayer.
Like,
There are hundreds of people doing a raid, fighting field bosses.
I'm more into like the hybrid sandbox, not the full-on sandbox, just because like there's a PvP aspect that I don't really enjoy. Like, they can just. Like,
No, I understand.
Yeah.
Well, is there something you'd play though?
As a question,
no?
probably not.
Okay, I
Like,
would give this a try for sure.
I know the hype behind it, but I think this is one of the game actually I wouldn't try just because I'm not really into that style. It's kind of like Albion in a way.
Oh
something,
yeah.
Right? I'm not really into it. Just because it's open world, I like it, but it's just too open world where like people can just kill people randomly.
Yeah.
This is not for me in terms of like the gameplay wise.
Well, for me, I mean, listeners should know at this point. I'm always looking out for the next big MMO because I still haven't found the next. I burned myself out playing Star Wars: The Old Republic. I burned myself out playing fucking Arcade, BDO, and Final Fantasy 14. Now I thought it was going to be Lost Ark, but all my friends stopped playing that, which is unfortunate because it's a great game. It's just there's only so much you could do before it gets super repetitive, and you're just like, I don't want to do anything anymore. Like all you have to do is the chaos runs, and then the harder level bosses. But there's some things in this game that it's like I would enjoy doing, like I do in Final Fantasy 14, which is the life skill activities like you see here, like chopping trees, building, crafting, stuff like that. I personally enjoy the calming aspects.
Mm-hmm.
I know if this is PvP driven, then I may rethink it because I feel like it might be PvP driven. But if there's clearly a huge PvE aspect because you can go after those gigantic dragons in the game. You can do other things other than PvP. So I personally would give it a chance and see where that goes whenever the hell this releases. I just hope, it releases.
Yeah.
I just hope it fucking releases.
My biggest concern with this game, just looking at the trailer, is having all these people on screen at the same time. Like how they're going to have some really massive server structure to be able to accommodate that many people online at one single time. If you saw that that part where they were running into the room, there was at least 100 people in a small section of an area. That's going to burn through most 3080, 3090 graphics cards like instantly, processing everything. You're going to hurt and you're going to burn your PC. So,
well, I wouldn't say that because Black Desert Online, before I saw it before and after they did their remaster. But the remaster optimized a lot of graphics, and I was able to PvP on my 1070. Now I have a 3080, but on the 1070, I would do guild wars where there's like 100 fucking people, and I would go from 50 frames to about 30 frames, and the game would still look pretty, and there would be like 200 people on screen at the same time. And I would die instantly because, the mages, they just send a fucking meteor and it kills everybody. And I'm usually like a melee person. But that's besides the point. What I'm trying to say is they've gotten better at doing it. So I hope they've figured out how to do it, because this is on Unreal Engine 5. So that's going to be even more fucking demanding and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I hope, it seems like it is. They're very ambitious. They're trying to become the biggest game and shit, and now you're playing the biome. This is definitely something Ryan won't play, because your most hated biome, fucking desert.
It doesn't look that bad.
I can understand. It's not the worst.
It's not Scorched Earth.
He never played that.
Oh.
He doesn't like desert, and I can understand why. I don't like it either, because there's nothing in a desert. It's just sand and dead things. Like,
well, there's an animal.
For me, I like the snow. The snow is more appealing to the eye than a desert.
Yeah.
Snow is blinding.
Because you're blind. Just use sunglasses.
Oh my god, that's not how it works.
See, there's a character riding a snail as a mount. No, it is. That's what snowboarders do. They have sunglasses.
Mutated anteaters. I saw that.
That's a snail with legs? You saw that, right?
Yeah.
Look, that's a snail with fucking legs.
You know how in Elden Ring you get your like goat horse? We called it a gorse. That's a snorse.
Oh yeah, that one, yeah.
The gorse.
And
the gorse is great. The gorse is
Torrent, right?
Torrent, yeah. That's a snorse.
That has to be the most unique mount I've ever seen. I never thought that would be a thing. What the fuck?
It's kind of more disturbing, because I don't know where those legs go when it sits down.
It just goes. I don't like things with mouths. I
like
hate
women.
creatures
Like
with mouths.
Like women.
There's this creature in Final Fantasy 14. I'm gonna throw it up in the edit. That has like 10 different mouths. It is the most disgusting thing I've ever seen.
A Marlboro?
It fucking gives. No. Marlboro has one. It's like a variation of it. Where it has. You haven't seen it yet because you haven't gotten into Shadowbringers.
It's still a Marlboro.
No,
albeit
it's not.
Mutated
Marlboro.
Elden has some pretty disturbing fucking monsters. If you want to see it.
Oh yeah. Elden Ring. I hate the hand monsters.
The hand monsters, like.
Hand monsters are my worst nightmare.
It gave me fucking goosebumps.
The first time I saw one, I wanted to run. My character was more than strong enough to kill them, but I wanted to run.
Yeah.
I don't have this fucking screenshot of it. I have to find them. I will find them in Final Fantasy 14 for you and send a picture. But, anywho, I guess that's all we have to say on Ashes of Creation. It looks really good. And we're actually coming up towards the end of our podcast for tonight. We actually pretty long. Yeah, I know.
You should play Nexus Kingdom of the Wind with me.
No, that's you don't play that.
Have you seen that game?
No, we're not.
John, put it up.
It's going up.
No.
The guest has guest privileges. What's it called? Nexus what?
Kingdom of the Winds.
Oh, there it is.
This shit is fucking. What is IMVU? Fucking shit. It's a fucking
1996 MMO.
What is this? This
is beautiful.
This is the weebiest shit I've ever seen.
Classic. This reminds me of Maple Story.
You are stroking his dick so hard right now.
Better than Maple Story.
This shit is fucking ugly.
Well, at the time, at 1996, it was pretty good.
Yeah, when our eyes. And our eyes didn't. Oh my god!
Killing squirrels. You can get the nut, the acorn from them to get some skills.
Yeah, I want squirrel nut. That's what I want. Skip to the middle of the video. You're like in the first 3 minutes. Skip.
Trying to find something that's not all conversation.
For you listeners that are getting this part.
Look at that.
This is a game from 1996. It's 16-bit pixels, very old, and oh my god, this is just ugly. I can't really describe it.
It's
Look
not
at
ugly. It's actually really well done for a game from 1996.
Then you
For
fucking describe it,
1996,
producer.
can you imagine? This is the game at the same time when it first came out, along with like, is it what Final Fantasy 7? No, it's earlier
96.
than
Oh,
that.
it was 1 year before 7. I think 7 came out in
Yeah,
1997.
and think about it. Like you're already online, playing with other people. It's an
Yeah.
MMO, like fully developed in 1996.
And in terms
Before-
of graphics, it's basically on the level of Super Nintendo games, even above
It
it. I mean,
was.
look at there's actual
Yeah.
definition in that tree right there.
Yeah,
There's a definition.
like
Yeah.
this is at a time when dial-up was still a thing.
Jesus Christ.
And you play MMO, this kind of MMO in a dial-up, all right? And then they already have like a full-on quest system going on, not quest system, but like sandbox, not sandbox hybrid idea going on, and trading and all that stuff. Like, at the time it was good.
Trying to see what other games were out the realm on. Okay, yeah. So they all look like that. All the MMOs look like even Ultima Online looked like this, but it wasn't Weeby and it was kind of better. So
Yeah, I mean, of course, this is like the Asian version, right? Like the other one is like the West
Yeah.
European. So like in Asia,
Yeah.
this is what you get.
Yeah.
Because in a dial-up, you're not gonna be able to fucking play an American server from Asia.
No,
It's
no,
impossible.
No.
So this is what we get, and look a bunch of monsters just fighting, and
I don't even know how you...
Real-
Oh, gee.
there's like magic right there. And your magic is based on the deity that you praise. Like if you praise a white tiger, your magic is all lightning. If you praise a white like a turtle, your magic is all ice. So it's no one's all element. You just all your magic or attack is based on the deity you praise.
Mm.
So if you're a swordsman praising the turtle, your sword is like all ice elemental attack, stuff like that. So everybody's different.
Well, I'm sure it would have been fun if I was younger and I played it when I was 6. I don't know.
Yeah, if I was younger too, I would still have fun with it. But it's old.
Yeah.
The
But-
official server is still running though.
It
But
must be
we
because
are-
it's talking about J. Cole. I don't think J. Cole was around in the fucking 90s.
J. Cole was born in 1985, dumbass. So technically he was around. Scrub.
But we are running into the clock here, so we're gonna have to cut it here for today for the MMO episode.
MMO.
This is the first in I don't know how many episodes. I'll do however many that I like about MMOs and shit. I'll keep you guys updated. I want to thank you, Ryan,
Thank
for
you.
coming here and talking with me because you know about much about MMOs as I do, more than most people. And thank you, John, for being producer and bouncing ideas and stoofing back and forth.
I do try.
Yes, I don't know what the next episode's topics are going to be. We're still working on that, guys, for the normal podcast.
It'll be Elden Ring.
No,
No,
we did an
Elden
Elden
Ring.
Ring episode. It was actually our series or our channel's first episode. It was our Elden Ring review. So
Yep.
for those of you who haven't listened to it yet, y'all can go back on all podcast services and check it out.
Check-
For the
Yes.
Geeks
Check it out in the link down below here.
Check
This
our link.
episode should be up probably on Saturday, not Friday. Sorry, guys. But yeah, and I will do my best to make the video version look even cooler. So there's that.
Check out
But
the link below.
nope,
right
that's
here.
all the time we have for today. Thank you for stopping by
Up
and
here.
listening to us ramble and rant. Again, this is For the Geeks Gamecast, where once every other week we get together and talk about just about anything we can think of. We have a link tree that you can click down
Below.
there below the video
Right here.
for you viewers. Yeah.
Right between my fingers. Right here.
Between his nipples. Yes. That will give you our YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, and access to the other podcasts as well. For those of you who aren't subscribed, you can get the podcast when it goes up the very next day on your favorite podcast apps. And also, we now have a Patreon. We're not asking for anything. It is literally just there in case you guys feel like supporting us for the $1 tier. We'll add some more eventually, but for right now, it's just $1 for a big thank you for giving us support. Again,
Ryan.
We're not asking. It's just there. Nope,
Support Ryan mostly.
So you can find us at those links in the link tree. For me specifically, for Seeger, you can find me at twitch.tv/SeegerPlays. Instagram is at SeegerVFX or at SeegerPlays. And my Twitter is at SeegerPlays. Ryan, do you have any last words to say?
So my Instagram is, I'm kidding. I don't have any public shit.
Nope.
I do stream. My Twitch is twitch.tv/kunumgzup. And
For those of you that can't phonetically spell that out in your heads, we'll put it in the description.
Oh, yeah. He's clever with that naming nomenclature. But anyway, until next time, guys, game like you mean it.